Welcome to day 22 of the school year. All right, let's start off with our beginning fraction. We have a total of 180 school days. We're on day 22. First we have to think, is our numerator 22 prime or composite? Well, 22 is even, and the only prime number that's even is 2. So it is composite. But if you want to check for sure, you can always look on your prime number sieve and see that it is not circled. So that means we have to do our prime factorization for both of our numbers. So let's start with our denominator and then our numerator. Okay, just a reminder, we want to start with our lowest prime numbers to begin with: 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. Okay, so 180 is even. I can divide by 2. Half of 180 is 90, or half of 18 is 9. Half of 0 is 0. Or put our placeholder down. It ends in a 0 or 5, so 5 is a factor here. So I can get one group of 5 out of 9. I'm left with 40, so I get 8. 18 is even. Half of 18 is 9. 9 I can divide by 3, and then I get 3. When I finally get to a prime number, I am done. Now 22 is even, so I can divide by 2. I get 11. 11 is prime, so I am done. Let's go ahead and do our prime factorization. 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. And then the numerator, 2 times 11. Do you see any factors in common? I see a 2. So that means 2 is our greatest common factor, and our fraction is going to be 11 over 2 times 3 is 6 times 3 is 18 times 5 is 90. So it's going to be 11 over 90. Let's go ahead and prove that. We're going to make our groups of 2. Remember, it doesn't matter what your groups look like, just as long as your shaded is not with your unshaded, and you have 2 in each group. Alright, so now I have 5 groups of 2 in each row, so I can count by 5s to find my total amount of groups of 2. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90. And our groups of 2 that are shaded in, 5, 10, plus 1 is 11. But we still want to prove it with our algorithm. We divide both by our greatest common factor, because we made groups of 2 out of the shaded area. We made groups of 2 out of the whole thing. It's the same amount, always. Let's go ahead and look at our area model. So 180 divided by 2. Well, let's see. I know that 2 times 50 will give me 100. Numbers the same, zeros the game, more on top, no need to stop. Bring 80 up here. Let's see. I may need some more room. Let's try times 20. 20 times 2 is 40. Numbers the same, zeros the game, more on top, no need to stop. And then I know that 20 times 2 will get me 40. Numbers the same, zeros the game. Add these partial quotients, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay, now we're going to divide 22 by 2. Let's see, 2 times 10 is 20. More on top, no need to stop. Numbers the same, zeros the game. And I bring my 2 up here. 2 times 1 is 2. Numbers the same, zeros the game. Add those partial quotients, I get 11. But I always need to check by using my inverse operation, divisor times quotient plus remainder. When I do the divisor times the quotient, I'm undoing the division. When I add the remainder, I'm undoing the subtraction. When I undo everything, I should get back to my original number or my dividend. So here, 2 is my divisor times 90 is my quotient plus my remainder of 0. 2 times 11 plus 0. Now the identity property of addition says when you add 0 it stays the same, so I don't need to take the time if it's just going to have the same result. So 90 times 2, 11 times 2, 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 9 is 18, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 1 is 2. Those both check because my dividend 22, my dividend 180. So my numerator is definitely 11, my denominator is definitely 90. Okay, now it's time to go and write it in our data collection page. Okay, we're on trimester 1, week 6. Today's date is 9/9/19, and our fraction for today is 11/90. Okay, so let's go ahead and get out our number line. We did groups of 2. Groups of 2. Last one we have is 7/90. This one would be 8 out of 90. Then we have 9/90. 8/90 had the equivalent fraction of 4/45. 9/90 had the equivalent fraction of 1/10, also 6/60. 10/90 has a couple equivalent fractions here, but it had the equivalent fraction of 1/9. And then today is 11/90. And the only one it's equivalent to is 22/180, nothing below it. So this is our simplest form, or our equivalent fraction in lowest terms. Go ahead and put your number line away, erase your worksheet, and thank you for joining me.